All right, boys and girls. So this is our last topic for or last lesson for topic 11. Sorry, and we are going to take what we worked on yesterday, and kind of just bump it up a little. So yesterday we focused on comparing just two fractions. We had two fractions to look at to decide which one was smaller, which one was larger. So today we're going to add a third fraction to that, and we're going to order them from either least to greatest or greatest to least, depending on whatever the question is asking us. And you will be able to use fraction strips for this. So do not worry about that part of it. You will be able to use fraction strips to help you with that visual, okay? As you become more comfortable with these fractions and how they relate to each other, you're going to become more comfortable with ordering them without the fraction strips. But for right now, we're still going to get to use those fraction strips. So let's look at our first problem for today. So it says Max skated 2/5 of a mile, and Carlos skated 3/5 of a mile. And then we have Pedro who skated 1/2 of a mile. So they want you to write these distances from least to greatest. We need to determine which of those three is the smallest, and then which of those is the greatest, and which one falls in the middle. And we get to use fraction strips to help us with this, okay? So I'm going to switch over to our fraction strips to help us with this visual. So I have my 1/2, I have my 3/5 over here, and my 2/5. What you would want to do is it does not matter what order you lay these strips in, just as long as the fraction strips themselves equal each of those fractions. So I'm going to make my 3/5, my 2/5, and then I have my 1/2 up there. And I'm going to label each of these fractions. Okay, so we have our 1/2, our 3/5, and our 2/5. And all we simply need to do is look at this and say they wanted us to go from least to greatest. So I need to look which fraction strip is the shortest compared to the 3. And I say that's my 2/5. So I'm going to put my 2/5 here. Now I need to look which one falls in the middle. And I say, well, that's kind of my 1/2 here, because the longest strip that sticks out here is my 3/5. So all you simply are going to be working on your practice problem is ordering those three fractions, using your fraction strips, deciding which one is the shortest, which one comes in the middle, and which one's the longest. Just be careful when you read your problems to make sure they're asking either least to greatest or greatest to least, because this was least to greatest. If they had asked from greatest to least, they would have been written this way. So a little bit of a difference. So just make sure you're reading closely to make sure you're putting them in the correct order.